Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hola, my sexy compadres y mamacitas. My name is Peter, and bienvenidos to my kitchen, where I'll be teaching you how to cook for charity. I got distracted by playing Genshin Impact, so much so that I grew this terrible facial hair. It's No Shave November, so I guess it's fitting. Regardless, back to the topic. Genshin Impact is a fun distraction to play in 2020 because it's such a chaotic year. One of my favorite things to do in the game is actually cook, and I'm kind of hungry after all that grinding. Well, there's one thing I've always wanted to cook in that game, and it's the Mondstadt hash browns. These golden, brown, delicious hash browns with this nice crunch and that beautiful tasting looking jam. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be making today. So without further ado, guys, let's get cooking and make these delicious hash browns.
The ingredients you're going to need for your Mondstadt hash browns are 2 potatoes grated, 1 tablespoon of plain flour, 1 tablespoon of butter, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, a 1/3 cup of pine nuts, and look, yes, I know that in the game they use pine cones, and pine cones are completely edible, but pine nuts come from pine cones. I do my best in Cucco's kitchen to try to get as much source material as I can into these recipes. There's some people who will just make a Pokeball cake and say, oh look, it's from Pokemon, but I really want to hit as close as I can to what it is in game. And since pine nuts come from pine cones, I thought it's kind of an exception here. Anyway, back to the ingredients. You're going to need 1 shallot peeled and grated, 1 clove of garlic peeled and grated, and some salt and pepper to taste. Now for the simple jam, all you need is 3 mangoes, cut, peeled, and diced, a cup of raspberries, a cup of sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. This is our secret ingredient. It's going to go a long way, even if it's just a little bit. It's going to amplify the flavor and give it this delectable smell. The first thing we're going to do is tackle the jam. As I stated, this is a super simple jam. In a food processor, puree your mangoes so they'll break down easier in the jam. Once you get a nice mango pulp on high heat, add in your raspberries, sugar, and mango pulp in a heavy saucepan. Mash down with a wooden spoon and stir. Once it's at a boil, add in your cinnamon, reduce the heat, stir, and cook until it's nice and thick. This should take about 15 to 20 minutes. While the jam is thickening, we're going to work on the hash browns. Add the grated potatoes to a large mixing bowl. We want to remove as much starch from the potatoes as possible, so we're going to add some cold water, and with your hands, give it a nice swirl. Let it sit for about 5 minutes. While it's sitting, we're going to toast those pine nuts. In a pan over medium-high heat, add in your pine nuts and toss them. Now, you can totally eat the pine nuts raw, but if you want to amplify the flavor, you want to toast them. So after they're toasted, about 2 to 5 minutes of tossing them, we're going to add them to a food processor just to chop them up a little bit to evenly spread them out in our hash browns. Now let's head back to those potatoes. Strain your potatoes and then add them to a cheesecloth, mapina, paper towel, anything you got so you can squeeze out as much moisture as you can. Then you're going to add your potatoes into another bowl. I know there's a lot of bowls, but you're going to add it to another bowl. Add in your grated garlic, shallot, salt, pepper, and flour. Give it a nice mix. The salt and pepper are going to be working together. The salt is going to pull out tiny bits of moisture from the potatoes, which will react with the flour, helping them stay intact while we shape and fry them. It's going to act like a glue. The last thing you want to do is add in the pine nuts. Only do this when you're ready to fry the potatoes. This is because the longer you let the potatoes sit out, the wetter they're going to get and the harder they'll be to shape and pretty much hold their shape while you fry them. So add in your pine nuts once you're ready to fry and stir them around and get ready to shape the potatoes, because this is where the challenge begins. Grab around a palm size amount and squeeze and mold them into an oval shape. The potatoes, if they're still very wet, you can add a little bit more flour. However, make sure you add it in generously. In a pan over medium-high heat, add in your vegetable oil and butter. Slowly add in the patties and make sure you don't overcrowd the pan, around 2 to 3 patties at a time. Fry them for 5 to 7 minutes each side until they're nice and golden brown and crispy. Once they're done, plate them, and that's pretty much it. Smear some jam on there and dig in. Your Mondstadt hash browns are done.
Now here is my favorite part of the video. We get to taste what we just made. So if you don't mind me, I got my hash brown right here. It's got a nice smear of that jam, and let's see how this bad boy tastes. Heavenly, out of this world. That flavor is phenomenal. Let me tell you about it. First off, This jam, that raspberry and mango, is doing like a swell combo in your mouth. It is hitting your tongue with a tremendous amount of flavor. Plus, that secret ingredient to tie this simple jam together, cinnamon, so good. But you're not over yet. You're gonna slowly keep on biting into that hash brown and you hear that crunch. It's so good. That beautiful flavor of the potatoes, that shallot, that garlic. Not only that, you don't need no stinking pine cone to get that flavor of that crunch. You have those pine nuts. It's toasted. It's flavorful. Bam! Bada bing, bada boom. Your tongue is enjoying this dish. Be it breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you could enjoy these hash browns any time of the day, and I highly, highly recommend you try them out. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said in the past, when you watch these videos, money is made. The money is automatically donated to charity. I keep none of the funds I make from my videos. Every single penny goes to charity. So please, guys, if you enjoyed this video, share it on the socials, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Reddit, whatever you use. It really helps me out. If you enjoyed this video, comment below what you'd like to see next on Cucco's Kitchen. And if you disliked it, tell me why below and give it a dislike. I also love reading constructive criticism. So sorry for the delay, guys. As I always am very sorry for the delay in doing Cucco's Kitchen. Just life is really, really busy. I've been flying, and then I've been working on Legends Cookbook. If you didn't know, it's time for me to, shill my cookbook. I wrote a cookbook. It's based and inspired off of Breath of the Wild, and it's filled with a bunch of delicious recipes. In addition, the Legends Cookbook team and I are also doing something special inspired by Hyrule Warriors. By the Lucky Ladle in that game, we're actually making nerdy but professional kitchenware, and we're actually making our own version of the Lucky Ladle called the Legends Ladle. So if you want to check that out or my cookbook, the links will be in the description below. Now, quick thing about the cookbook, it's almost sold out, so if you want to get one before Christmas, I highly suggest you grab it now before we're out, and we might be waiting a while to do a second print. Other than that, thank you guys so much for being patient and waiting for that. Yeah, you can join my Discord, link below, and meet a bunch of people who have interest in cooking with the Legends Cookbook or just nerdy stuff in general. Alyssa is working on her video for a recipe from Breath of the Wild's Age of Calamity Hyrule Warriors, so look forward to that. She's dressed up as Tingle, so that's going to be a nice surprise. But regardless, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more from Genshin Impact or any other video game, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll get on top of that. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay sexy. Adios.